Last month, we unveiled a plan to build a new Royal BC Museum for the 21st century. A modern museum was a priority. It was no secret. We talked about it in 2 throne speeches. It was contained in mandate letters for ministers. We're committed to taking action to ensure that we protected our collective history, not just for this generation, but for generations to come. We made choices based on the best information at hand, and we thought we had it right. Clearly, we did not. I have heard the people of British Columbia quite clearly that we were making the wrong decision at the wrong time. Today, I'm announcing that we're stopping the project, and we're going to go back to the drawing board, asking the board and the CEO and the team at the Royal BC Museum to engage the public fully to ensure that we can come back and have a positive statement that all British Columbians can get behind. The museum will continue operating into the fall. That includes the IMAX Theatre, the gift shop, and the ever-important food trucks will continue to operate in and around the campus that houses the Royal BC Museum. I've always tried to put the best interests of British Columbians first and foremost in everything that I do, and that involves listening to what people are saying. It's my responsibility to say to you today that I made the wrong call. That's not to say that the work that needs to be done at the RBCM should be suspended indefinitely. What it means is that I made a call at a time when British Columbians were talking and thinking about other concerns. Primary care for their families, education, the cost of living, a range of other issues as we came out of a global pandemic. But I want to be clear to British Columbians that it's not an either-or proposition. I felt at the time we made the decision that we could continue to address the concerns of British Columbians and also protect and preserve our most important cultural items that go back a great deal of time. My first engagement on the Royal BC Museum as an elected representative happened in the first year I was elected to this legislature. And a few years after that, a major initiative was proposed to redevelop the RBCM, and the former government declined to proceed with that, and that's fair comment. But every year after that, the board of the museum came forward to the government and said, we have seismic challenges, we have asbestos challenges, we have an exhibition capacity that is inconsistent with the size of our collection. Over 7 million items are held at the Royal BC Museum, most of them in boxes, most of them having not seen the light of day for generations. We saw an opportunity to highlight our collective history. We saw an opportunity to continue the work on repatriation of Indigenous artifacts. We saw the opportunity to create a modern, state-of-the-art facility for the future and generations to come. But most importantly, of course, we have to make sure that we're in tune with the public and the sentiments of the people of British Columbia. And for that, I take full responsibility. 2 of my ministers have worked very hard on this file over the past 5 years, and I want to put to rest any notion that this was a back-of-the-envelope undertaking. It was a 5-year process involving countless engagements with people, not sufficient to give the public a sense of why this is important, but we did our level best to ensure that we were consulting with people. We talked about it in our throne speeches, as I said before, and we were engaging with people in the tourism sector here in Victoria about what the consequences might be to suspending activity at the museum for a period of time. The good news is that we're well underway on the collections and research building in Colwood, which will house the vast majority of those items that are currently in storage, as well as the most important items we have, which are archival materials, which are not just nice to have. It's important to our foundations of our governance and of our structures that people can access documents held by our archives for legal and historical purposes. That's critical to land claims. That's critical to ensuring that justice can be prevailed in every part of the province. Those items are held in our Royal BC Museum. It's also important to note that the largest single collection of Emily Carr paintings and works are held in the museum, and they're currently below sea level. That's an unacceptable position, I think, for all British Columbians, and we're taking steps by having the collections and research building completed as quickly as possible, estimated to be by 2025, so that we can move these precious items and protect them from the possibility of seismic activity or any other calamity that could befall us here in the capital city. As I said, I had two ministers working on this, Lisa Bair initially in the first term of our government and Melanie Mark over the past 2 years. And both of them worked very hard to ensure that we were getting the message out to people about the importance of protecting these items. I want to thank them for their hard work, but I want to assure British Columbians that any failings in this initiative do not fall to them, they fall to me and to me alone. I want to thank you for having the time and patience. It's been 40 days since the announcement. I know we have some elder scribes in the room. I cast my vision over to the one who I know I'm talking about, who will undoubtedly remind his readers in the days ahead that at no time has sober second thought happened so quickly. Perhaps it's a result of social media. Perhaps it's a result of any number of other initiatives. I would like to think it's a result of a government that listens to what people want and does our best to ensure that we can deliver on that. I'm proud of the work we've done over the past 5 years. I'm proud of the work we have ahead of us. But I cannot allow something that should be supported by all British Columbians to become a political football. It should not be a partisan question. Regardless of how you vote, regardless of where you live in British Columbia, you should be proud of our collected heritage going back for time immemorial to the advent of new settlers coming to British Columbia from every corner of the world. Their archival materials, their artifacts, their stories are housed in our museum. They're not liberal, they're not conservative, they're not NDP, they're not Green. They're British Columbias. And I'm very proud of that, and I want to make sure that all British Columbians can be proud of that too.